it's our time. Generation fighters take the stand. From shore to shore we reclaim the land. Grit and glory in every strand. In Jersey Shore we make our stand.
Oh, we're missing the intro? Okay, no problem. Well, welcome back to the Jersey Shore Radio Show. We missed the intro because it was something else. We had my co-host Peter Sykes and Jack Bragdon, his running mate, running for assembly. So they took over the show for the past, I guess it was what, like 6 weeks or so, Pete?
Yeah, going on somewhere around there. They're 2 months.
So, are you good?
No,
No, you don't have to play it. That's normal.
That's all right. We're already on.
Run with it. So, but yeah, guess who's back? I'm back. No, I would say I'm a little nervous, but I'm really not. I'm going to be nervous about this monologue that I want to run with because my co-host might disagree with me with a couple of things. So I want to tell you something about Donald J. Trump. I think he just played one of the most masterful, high-stakes political chess moves I've seen in modern American politics. And the Democrats walked right into it like it was a trap with neon lights flashing over it. See, here's what I think happened, and my co-host Pete might disagree, and it's fine because we'll have the conversation. But I think Trump baited them. The Epstein files. This is the stuff the entire political class pretends that they don't know about. Biden had them for 4 years. That's right, 4 years. He could have released them at any time, but he didn't. They sat on it. They protected their own. And they figured the media would keep running interference. And then Trump says, you want transparency? Let's release everything. And suddenly, the same Democrats who were quiet as church mice for years are screaming for transparency like they invented the concept. They demanded the release because they thought it would hurt Trump. That's a trick. He let them demand it. He gave them what they asked for, knowing that it was going to expose them, their friends, their donors, Hollywood elites, political allies, and people who never thought accountability would touch them. That's not checkers. That's grandmaster level political chess. Now, again, my opinion could be wrong. Just throwing it out there. And while everyone else focused on, on the palace, intrigue, Trump is doing something even bigger. Putting America first by handling foreign affairs like a businessman, not a bureaucrat, not a globalist, not someone trying to police the world, a businessman who understands leverage, negotiation, and dealing from a position of strength. Now, people forget this. The world is smaller now. Technology shrank it. Every country is intertwined through trade, supply chains, energy markets, and financial networks. What happens in Asia hits your grocery bill in New Jersey. What happens in Eastern Europe affects your gas prices in Texas. That's the reality. So when Trump cools tensions, negotiates peace, shuts down conflicts before they explode, that is America first, because every dollar this country doesn't spend on foreign wars, we can invest in our own people. Every conflict that we stop from spreading keeps our economy stable. Every peace deal strengthens American leverage around the world. Now contrast that with the people who want endless wars and endless chaos. Those are the same people who tried to hide the Epstein story. And again, I'm tired of talking about the Epstein thing. I really am. But here's the warning. Something Trump has to be very, very careful about. The economy. Economy wins elections, period. That's the rule of politics since the beginning of time. And right now, I believe the stock market is living inside an AI bubble. A handful of companies, maybe 10 at most, are carrying the entire market on their back. Everyone is acting like AI is the new magic wand, the new cure, the new gold rush. We've seen this before. Remember the dot-com bubble when the internet was new, exciting, filled with potential and created a market frenzy? Companies worth nothing were trading like they were the next IBM. Everyone invested because everyone thought they had to. Then it popped. Not because the technology didn't matter. Obviously, it changed the world, but because the market ran away ahead of reality. It took years for it to get real value of the internet to catch up to the hype. AI is heading toward the same cycle. Huge excitement, massive investment, and a whole lot of people ignoring the fundamentals. Trump needs to navigate that minefield because the bubble pops. If the bubble pops at the wrong time, then it's political trouble. But if he manages it right, if he balances foreign strength, domestic calm, and an economy that stays stable, he'll be unstoppable. And let's be honest, so far he's playing chess while Democrats are still trying to figure out what color the pieces are. All right. So, Pete, I know it was a long monologue, but I've been on it a while.
That's all right, buddy. Look, you did a good job. It's all right. You still bumbled a little bit more.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while. I just wrote it before I got here. So
that's all right. Listen, I was on here. I didn't have no monologue, bro. You know me. I ad-lib everything.
Yeah.
But no, listen, it was very good too. I mean, look, I'm not mad, and I feel you on the Trump, political chess game, right? I mean, as long as that's what it is. I mean, you have Mike Johnson coming out now and saying we have to redact, we have to be careful. I hope the Senate goes ahead and made some adjustments to it before it passes. The Senate passed it right through last night, right?
Yeah, Trump signed it last night.
Right. So, I mean, it went right through. So we'll see, man. Look, as long as this stuff comes out, this is the stuff that really can knock the power off the pedestal, and maybe give the people a fighting chance once again.
Yeah, no, I hope so. I hope it all comes out. I mean, again, they're going to have some redaction to it. Whatever the judges say that they can't release through the witness testimonies and names and all that stuff. But I hope it all comes out. I mean, you already have Democrats resigning.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's not just Democrats, though, right? It's going to be Republicans, too. It's going to be your elites, your uniparty people that have been in there for a very, very long time. And I just I hope that they don't pick and choose who they release, who they release it to, because, look, man, these are things that we the people, right? Not just us as Americans, but I mean, this is worldwide, too. You were just saying the world got a lot smaller. This has implications all across the world. And if you want to really change it and get it back to the people, you're going to have to knock that power structure down.
Yeah, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, doesn't matter. If you're part of that deal, you got to go. You got to go to jail. You got to be held accountable for it. Resign if you're a small part, whatever it may be. People need to be held accountable to it.
Agreed. Now, I'll tell you, this goes back to when James O'Keefe just interviewed that DOJ guy that caught him on a hot mic down in the airport about a month or two ago. And, he said, look, I interviewed all the Epstein victims back in the early 2000s. Okay. He said none of them had anything negative to say about Trump, not one. All right. But they did say a lot about a lot of important people that they believe that Trump is protecting right now. So, I mean, look, you got to let that go. You got to let it go. You got to let the truth come out. I mean, we need the truth. If we want to rebuild this country on a strong, solid foundation, we need the truth about who has been ruling us for the past 100 years. All right. We need to clean it up, and then we need to start fresh. 1776, baby. We need to go again.
So, I mean, did he say any names?
I don't believe he mentioned any names on that, but he did mention intelligence agencies, including ours and international. So I mean, it's a big spider web, brother. I mean, that's where we're at.
I mean, listen, it definitely was. I mean, where did Epstein get his money? How did he get those big deals that he?
Well, he just said it too, right? Just now, he said, "Yeah, I want to start looking into J.P. Morgan and Chase because they were giving him all types of money."
Yeah, for what?
Yeah, exactly.
Which service did he provide?
Exactly. I mean, they had somebody else he was blackmailing. I think it was millions of dollars for tax advice. I can't remember the guy's name right now off the top of my head, but that was millions of dollars for tax advice. I'm pretty sure that's not how that works.
Yeah, it doesn't sound.
It doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay anybody $1 million for tax advice. Yeah, something's going on there. But I don't know. So we will see. We'll see for sure.
Yeah. I mean, look, man, things are definitely interesting, though, bro. I'll tell you that. Now listen, it's been. We'll switch gears just a hair. It's been 2-3 weeks now since the election, since I've gone on. I kind of been quiet, right, sitting here and just focusing on what's next and what we're going to do and recap and everything. So, I mean, I'd like to take a second and just thank all 27,000 voters that voted for myself and Jack Brangan. I mean, it wasn't enough. Our opponent had at least 55,000. Was there funny business? I don't know. Who could say? You know what I mean? I'm not even going to go there. But I just want to, I'm honored to receive 27,000 votes. And I'm very sorry that I was unable to get in there and try to make some change right here in New Jersey for the people that voted for me.
Well, Pete, 27,000 votes isn't something to shy about.
It's not. It wasn't enough. You know what I mean? That's all. But no, it's not. I'm humbled by it, right? I mean, I'm honored by it. I'm humbled by it. I mean, every way you can look at it.
So you guys worked really hard on the campaign. And you went up against, I'll call him, I hate to even say it, a juggernaut, but he's not a juggernaut in a good way. But Lou Greenwald's been in office for 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years. So he's got it locked up pretty much. And then you had a lot of things. Of course, Chigarelli lost, which was sad, even though he had 200,000 more votes than last
Yeah,
time.
it was a spanking across the boards,
Yeah,
bro.
it
That's
was.
why I'm just.
Yeah, it was in Virginia, same thing.
Yeah.
New York City, and the Democrats spanked us everywhere.
Yeah,
There
it
was
wasn't a
election.
good look.
But that's what happens. You get the Republicans in, they win, and people come out in droves the next election to vote. And then I think that that shutdown had a lot to do with it too. I mean, you had
They were starving people out. That's what I've heard at some of these, poll locations from people that were working the polls, is that people that don't usually vote were forced to come vote because they were starving to death.
yeah. Well, I don't doubt they were starving to death, but
Well.
but they were worried about it. And again, I'm going to go with this again. What I hate the most is the legacy mainstream media.
Yeah.
Because they carried it, called it the Republican shutdown, and that's what people watch. I mean, all the mainstream media. I mean, you can watch like maybe one or two channels that'll tell you the truth, and they're biased too. Like say, if you look at Fox or Newsmax, of course they're biased, but they say it. They said they're Republican and they are biased. But the other legacy media, they don't say that they are. They say they're reporting the news, and they talk about a Republican shutdown and people believe it. And when they don't say, hey, well, 53 Republicans, all of them voted, and you only need 7 Democrats, and they're voting it down. They don't go that far. And that's why people need to be educated more on stuff like that, because it does change elections. In fact, that's why I always said that media can be more powerful than politicians, because the media controls what people hear, what they see, and almost what they think.
Yeah. I mean, we're still waiting, I think, on the percentage of Republicans that came out and voted. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that was pretty low again.
And that's upsetting.
I know.
It really is. I mean, I know we're outnumbered by like 900,000, the Democrats and Republicans in the state of New Jersey. But if you only get 35% of Republicans to come out to vote, you're never going to win.
Yeah. Well, people are disenfranchised, right? I mean, my vote doesn't count, and unfortunately, if 50, 60% of Republicans all say my vote don't count, well, guess what, guys? Your votes don't count.
Yeah, they don't. If you don't vote, they don't count.
There you
Put
go.
it that way. So it's aggravating, because I talk to people at work that are Republican, and I ask them if they voted, and they're like, well, no, I didn't bother. I didn't bother to vote. But yet they complain.
Yeah.
Oh, my taxes are too high. My energy bills up. I'm like, well, then you're going with Murphy 2.0.
That's it, by default.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you change it? My vote doesn't count. Yeah, it does. If you actually went and voted, they're going to count it, and they're going to count all the other people's votes that say the same thing that you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem, man. I don't know. I don't want to berate everybody, but
No, I don't either. I'll say this though, right? My Democrat colleague of mine, had this little story, okay? And he says, you walk up to, he says a guy walks up in a field and he stands at a fence, and he said, God's on one side of the fence, the devil's on the other side of the fence. God says, do everything, come over on my side and you'll have everything you want when you die. The devil says, no, come over here and you'll have everything you want right now. Okay, so the guy sits on the fence. He says, I'm not going to pick a side. I'm going to enjoy both worlds. Next thing you know, the fence is gone. Poof, and he winds up in hell. He says, what just happened? I didn't pick this side. The devil says, yeah, well, I created the fence. Here we are.
All right, well, Pete looks like we got a caller, so let's put him through. All right, hey, caller, you're live on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
Good evening, gentlemen. Justin Michael Murphy here.
Hey, Justin Murphy, how are you, my friend?
All right, how's everybody doing on 92.1?
Doing all right, man. It's been a while. I haven't been here in about 6 weeks or so.
Yeah. Damon's just settling back in.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
Let's all right. Well, let's welcome Damon back to the game. All good. Everybody recovered from election night.
Yeah, we're licking our wounds. We're all right, my friend. How are you doing?
Same here. We're just wading through and getting ready for launching my Senate bid, and want to wish everybody who, like yourself, Pete, everybody who decided to take on the enormous burden of seeking office in a tough year in a tough state. I think we did well in a few ways. In some areas, we We got 100,000 more votes this year than we did in 2021 for the governor candidate, which is certainly good news. It's nowhere near enough to win yet, but we still can boast the most registered Republicans in the history of New Jersey, over 1.6 million. So we got to, plant some seeds, be patient, keep at it, and just be diligent and tenacious and just keep working at it. But thank you for all the candidates that ran. It was a tough night for a lot of people, and I've traveled the state over the past year, and I saw firsthand how hard people were working and the energy and passion they were putting into their campaigns, the time, the money, the resources. And it can be a disappointment when things don't work out, but got to keep with it. You just keep at it, and good things will happen.
Well, there you go, my friend.
Yeah, and you're running for U.S. Senate again. It's going to be a uphill battle, just like it always is against Democrats in the state. And I wish you luck with that. And I know you're aren't you having a
kickoff?
Kickoff? When is that? The December 12th or something like that?
Yes, of course. Yes, and of course everybody at 92.1 is invited, and I'll be getting the invites out. Will be a split set of events on Friday, December 12th, and I'll be having a lunch at the Medford Community Center, and then evening will be at my house with a huge Christmas tree lighting ceremony and an announcement for the folks that were working during the day. So we look to have a good split events, afternoon and evening, and Friday the 12th, hopefully we'll all be in the Christmas spirit, and we'll be looking forward to 2026 and building on what we can find constructive. But yeah, everybody certainly want to get the word out about it and keep our stuff, and we're getting launched. I got to polish up a few social media issues, but we're doing okay, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a nice night. Looking for a good turnout, and hopefully we can all stay united and keep chipping away what we need to get a few wins in this state.
Yeah, absolutely, Justin. Rooting for you and all the other candidates that are running. I got another candidate running for Congress, Jason Cullen, who's going to be calling in later on in the show. We need some wins, in our pocket. We need to get this state right, because it's like I was telling Pete, Mikey is Murphy 2.0. It's going to be the same thing. People are going to be hurting the way they are now. That's why it bothers me that not enough people came out to vote.
I'm afraid we're standing at the edge of the cliff, man. It's going to just take a little nudge to just drop us over the edge, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, I think, Peter, there, some people have that disposition. I'd say if you look back and just in the past year and then 3 years and 5 years and see how many people moved out of the state, you can go to any room in New Jersey with 100 people in it and ask them, do you know anyone that moved out of the state? And most, if not everybody, will raise their hand and say, yes, I know at least one person that moved out of the state. If they can't live here, it's unaffordable. Senior citizens or young people can't really get themselves on their feet in the housing market and jobs. And, the thing is Peter, now you know this, and you ran to try to change it. Democrats have been the majority party in our state house, state senate, and state assembly for the last 24 straight years. And of those 24 years, they've had the governor's office, 16 of them. And yet there's just no responsibility or accountability dumped at their doorstep as to why this state is so tough to live in. Oh no, it's Donald Trump. It's just
it's the Republicans. That's what they say.
Yeah, and what bothers me most, Justin, is the Democrats don't really. The only thing they run on is the bad orange man.
Right.
Hate Donald Trump, and that that TDS that people have, it works.
They rage vote.
Yeah, it's like, but nobody pays attention. I'm trying my best. That's why we do the radio show. That's why we do the podcast, just to inform people about what's going on. Well, I don't lie about anything. I am biased one way, of course. I lean, to the right. I'm Republican, conservative, but I'll still talk about the facts. The facts we were talking about before was the legacy mainstream media said it was a Republican shutdown, and that's nothing could be further from the truth. So,
but people buy it. People believe it. If you look at the turnout this past November, with everything facing New Jersey, from energy crisis to the illegal immigration sanctuary state, property taxes, corruption in government, we had a 49% turnout. Now that means most people who were registered to vote sat home and didn't even bother to come out to vote. There's an element of receptive, and people are going to have to sit up and take note of a few things, and they've got to put some effort into this. We can preach all day long. We can identify problems. We can propose solutions. We can field and run good candidates. But if people are just not interested, you can't push a rope, I guess the old saying goes.
No, you are right about that. So, all right, Justin. Well, listen, thanks for calling in. I know we're going to have another call in shortly, and I just want to let everybody know the social media issues that they're having.
Oh yeah. Facebook was kind enough to take down my page, so we're working around that now. I still got my website, Insta, X, so Truth Social, YouTube channel, but we still have to get a few things in line. Facebook is just, I don't know too many liberal Democrat pages that have been yanked down, but I know an awful lot of conservative and Republican-leaning organizations have had all kinds of trouble with this, and this is a major issue, and I hope it can be resolved at the federal level because it's a real violation of what I believe are, the constitutionally prescribed rights of freedom of speech.
You're right. That's why, if you get in, we win, and anybody else that gets in wins, we got to get rid of Section 230.
We need to do something. So, all right, well, gentlemen, thank you for taking the call. Good to speak with you, and we'll be seeing you around the circuit.
All right. Justin Murphy, everybody. So thank you
much, gentlemen. Take care.
I'll tell you what, man, Facebook is so frustrating, too, because you can't even call them.
No, I know.
You can't even call them to be like, hey, man, what's going on with my stuff over here? I don't understand.
Yeah, because when you had issues with it when you had your page, when you were running, political page or whatever, and then Jen, she got knocked off for just no reason. Justin, he just has a Justin Murphy for Senate page, and all of a sudden they just knocked him off. And the only thing he posts is political stuff.
And there you go. It's not even like anything bad.
Saying that he's running.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not even anything bad. It's
So
yeah, I just don't understand, man. I wasn't even able to boost any posts the whole time, and I was sitting there trying to go through all their hoops and jump through their hoops and do this and that. I had to go to the bank and have stuff notarized. I mean, it was ridiculous. And then in the end, they still didn't even allow me to do it.
Yeah, I know. I went through the same thing. I had to anything political if I wanted to boost a post and all that. They even mailed me paperwork. I had to fill it out.
Yep,
notarized, mailed back. And it took months. At least I got it on it kind of early, so I was able to do it during my campaign. But they make it so hard for you to do.
Yeah, it's definitely not user friendly.
Yeah, but I don't understand why. But why, if you're a candidate, why can't you post things about your?
I wonder what side. I wonder if you were a Democrat, if you had to do all that same stuff.
Probably.
Or they made it easy. You know what I mean?
Well, probably. You probably could just get it, right away.
Yeah, it's very partisan over there on Facebook. The tech guys and whatever. And even with Zuckerberg coming out and trying to change his tune a little bit. I mean, look, words are one thing, actions are another.
Yeah, you're right about that. So, Pete, let's change the subject right away. But I want to go over this one story I just saw today. So in Bergen County, New Jersey, the former Dumont mayor and current Jersey City police sergeant was arrested Monday for sexually assaulting a child that he met on a social media app, prosecutors say. His name is Andrew LeBruno, 44, who recently lost an election bid for state assembly, allegedly assaulted a child on Monday at the child's Inglewood home, according to Bergen County prosecutors. Bruno was charged with first-degree aggravated sexual assault. But let me just skip down. I'm not going to, give all the details and read the whole thing. But Bruno recently ran as a wait for it, Democrat for the 39th District Assembly. So, and he was initially on the gubernatorial ticket of Steve Fulop,
who was endorsed by the teachers union, by the way.
Yeah, and I know Steve Fulop, the mayor of.
That was him, right? Just to make sure I'm correct on that. That was the guy that was endorsed by the teachers union. They spent all that money on him.
Who, Fulop?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I know him only because I built a building up there, and actually it turned out one of them used to be his offices, or it was going to be his new office. So, but I mean, I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, never met the guy. Yeah,
I've met him once when I turned the building over and he moved in, but that was about it. But yeah, this guy LeBruno, I'm not saying anything about Fulop. I don't know. He has nothing to do with any of this. But this guy LeBruno, Democrat, yeah. So Maybe you knew Epstein.
I mean, if the shoe fits, I guess.
So,
Probably not. He's a little young, I think, to have been involved in that. But you never know.
yeah.
You never know. It's just it's dirty work out there, man. That's what I'm saying. Is how is this stuff just okay in society nowadays? Like, it really bugs my mind. This all goes back to the pushing degeneracy, and look, all roads lead back to January 10th, 1963. The Communist Manifesto introduced into Congress. As the 45 key points of communism that they wanted to push in the United States, and that's it, right?
Yeah, I ask all the listeners out there, please look that up. Google it. Sometimes it can be a little hard to find, look up and search it, but January 10th, 1963, and you're going to see it, and you're like, wow, this is what's going on now.
Yeah, it's literally, man, you start reading through these key points. In the beginning, it's a little slow because it's like Russia and this and that, and we're not kind of on that tip anymore. But then you move down to a little bit in the middle, and man, you just start clicking them off like, yep, that's happening now. Yep, that's happening now. Yep, that's happening. Oh, that's definitely happening now. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, well, that's why they talk about taking control of the schools and everything else, indoctrinating kids. And that's why the young Republicans are so important. That's why we're going to
destroy the families, get kids away from their families because the families are I forget the terms they use for them, but got to get the kids away from parents. I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah. Crazy stuff.
I know. I mean, that's why. That's what
capture one or both political parties. Yeah. That's the one.
That's the one. Take control of the media.
Yep.
So, and that's
make everything ugly. Get rid of art. Anything beautiful, get rid of it and push this shapeless nonsense.
Yeah, and that makes sense though. That's what
it breaks down our creativity. It breaks down the beauty. You live life in a negative environment.
So
easily corruptible at that point in time.
Yeah, well, that's what I would say about not just young Republicans, but young people as it is. That's why I'm giving them a show on the APN, the Bergen County Young Republicans, because you need younger people to start talking to younger people and get the word out. And so they don't go down that road, because I think we have a generation that's lost right now, that voting for Mamdani in New York City.
Well, that's why Charlie Kirk was so important, because he was de-radicalizing our youth. He was giving them something else to think about. Things that they probably never heard before.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, and then what happens?
Yeah, well, somebody took them out.
Yeah, but if we get back to the youth and get back to,
we got two callers.
Callers.
My gosh,
I'm sorry, but I can't hear you. Let's just take one. Let's take the first caller, Norm. Hey, caller, you're live. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hi, this is Heather Galdo, Damon, your wife. How are you guys doing?
Well, hello, Heather.
Hello, Heather. How you doing?
Well, since you're talking about, younger Republicans and the youth getting out there to vote, last week on an evening show on a Saturday night on 92.1, there was a young Republican that was mentioned on that show, and it was Rudy Clark. That is the West Deptford, Republican committee chairman. And he wasn't bullied out of the party. He was kind of pushed out of the party because of the things that he's done. He's not right for the party. Rudy, as Damon could tell you, Rudy used to work on Damon's campaign, and Damon had paid him $3,000, and he quit right afterwards. He also made, false police reports, to try to hurt Damon, but in the end, it could have hurt our family. He also, is his mentor, Steve the Tank Cush. And he was also going on, Gloucester County, website, Camden County website, and emailing the chairs saying it was from Damon, and saying all these nasty, horrible things about the other candidates which no one would say. We don't need young Republicans like that in our party. We need young Republicans that stand for something, and Rudy Clark, he doesn't stand for anything.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. By the way, the Tank Cush Award. Yeah, he was in here. By the way, I had to disinfect the chair before I came in. He was sitting over there a couple weeks ago, so I had to make sure I brought some Lysol in.
Yeah, you have to make sure. You don't want to, Pete doesn't need that on him.
I don't need them tank terms.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but
you don't need anything from the tank.
But yeah, I forgot my Steve the Tank Cush award, the loser league award. It's in my truck, but I show it enough on the podcast, so everyone knows what it is. But yeah, no, I know, babe. It is what it is. I mean, it's over with, you know. And yeah, I know you hearing his name. I know the stuff that he did, you know, could have hurt the family and all the lies he told. But
Yeah.
it's over with now. So I wouldn't even give him any more notice.
No, it's
than
over.
he
I
needs.
just don't want him to look like he was a rising star in the Republican Party here.
Definitely not.
And he definitely wasn't. And he wasn't bullied out of the party. That's not true. People know what he did and didn't respect what he did.
Yeah,
that's my whole point, you know. And we have wonderful young Republicans. I wish we can get some young women to be more involved. But, you know, we have a lot better young Republicans. We don't need someone like a Rudy Clark.
Yeah, Patrick, Joe, Blake. I mean, I can go down the line. There's plenty of them. But, babe, we have another caller.
Sure.
So, but
All right, brother. We'll talk to you
All right,
later.
guys.
thanks.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
A woman scoring.
Hello.
Hello, caller. You're live. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, how you doing? My name's Jack. I'm out from Delaware County at Springfield. I often call in, but I haven't had the pleasure of talking to you.
Okay.
I'm a Democrat, but I'm just throwing out some things. I'm hearing about young Republicans, and what I heard a month or two ago, there was a group of, you may be talking about somebody different. There's a group of young Republicans that preach Nazism, hate Jews, hate everybody. Is this the same group of young Republicans? Because I've talked to somebody on this station before, and they've never heard of this group.
No, that's not. I'm talking about the Burlington County Young Republicans who I was mentioning.
But do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. It was
Okay.
Yeah, it was a young Republican group. It was they were on like a feed, like they were
Some
talking
kind of chat group or something.
Yeah, and here it came. The group denounced it, but there was a couple of them that were saying stuff, and they said the ones that said the things they said were saying, "Oh, they were just joking." Maybe they weren't. I have no idea, but that's not a joke that you make. So I think they're ousted from that group because the young Republicans as a whole throughout the country, denounced everything they said. But yeah, this is just a small group of college kids in Burlington County that are young Republicans.
Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure I was talking about the right group because look, I'm Democrat, but it sounds like young Republicans are going the right way. Maybe I wish I heard about a lot of young Democrats, which I don't. But my other question is, I don't understand that your president, I'm going to say your president because this is what I got, is downplaying the slavery issue everywhere, that it should be taken off, and especially a place in Philadelphia where they want to downplay slavery. Now, the only person I can think of that would speak up would be Tim Scott. But is it okay with the black Republicans that Trump is doing this? He's downplaying slavery does he not believe people were in chains?
Well, I can't speak on behalf of black Republicans, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
I'm not familiar with it. Downplaying.
You're not familiar with slavery being downplayed everywhere. In Philadelphia, right here, was on the news last night. They're downplaying the history of slavery in Pennsylvania, and they want it taken down.
When you say downplay, I'm just curious what you're saying. 'Cause I'm not familiar. That's what I'm asking. When you say
okay, I'm surprised.
What do you mean by downplayed?
Well, it really didn't happen as bad as it was, and we shouldn't talk about it. We should move forward. Now, do you really think we should move forward from slavery?
Well, absolutely, we should move forward from it, but we shouldn't stop talking about it. So we don't want history to repeat itself. So no, it should be.
No, we don't. But we want to know what happened in history, don't we?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And Trump's taken that away, that you cannot go and find out slavery, how bad it was. People don't realize how bad it was. I've been a history buff, and I'm appalled that more hasn't been said about it. And I'll just say not black Republicans. I'll just say Republicans. It's just like it's horrible what I think. And but I just wanted your opinion on that, Ben. I just wanted to talk to you and pleasure talking to you. I haven't talked to you before, but I always keep it clean. And
No, thank you. I'm going to look into it because I literally I didn't know anything about that, and I'm surprised that he would downplay it since slaves
well, this has been going on. This has been going on in plenty of states over a long period of time, and if nobody's heard of it, and I've actually tried to get a hold of Tim Scott through an email or something, that it was on my channel last night, Channel 6 from downtown, that they were downplaying and how the slaves lived and where they went, and Trump wants to move on, and it's too much. Well, we can move on from a lot of things, but there's some things in history. I'm a white person, but that I'm totally against any kind of racism. I'm very broad-minded, and this actually seems to affect me more than people in the cabinet. And I was just wondering on your views when I call in. Some stations said, "Oh, they never heard about that," and so I guess maybe it doesn't affect the black Republicans. I don't know, and
I
but I just wanted to call in and express that to you, and just get your thoughts.
Well, thank you. From a Republican to a Democrat, I agree with you. So
yeah, well, thank you.
But I'm going to look into it. I honestly I didn't know anything about it, but
it's well. I tell you, if you missed it, it's been going on. It's been going on all over the country in most of the states. That anything about slavery is being downplayed. It wasn't that bad, and let's move on. So, all right. Thank you for your time, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Right.
Good. All right. Looks like we have another caller. Hi, caller. You're live. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
Yeah, hey, it's Arlene, Damon.
What's up, Arlene?
Hello, Miss Arlene.
My buttons got pushed. I just get so annoyed. You had a caller, very nice gentleman, who wanted to speak about the young Republicans that he heard about.
Yeah, I heard about the story. It was
Yeah, right, which is so just. But then he went into your president and slavery, okay?
When the Democrats owned slaves.
With everything that's happening in this country and in this world today, I would like to know why anyone would want to make a large issue of slavery in this country where it has been gone for over 100 years, 150 years, when there is still slavery in so many other countries around the world. So if they're that concerned about it, tell them to do something about it in those countries.
No, I agree with you.
Well, I would say also right now in this country we have a lot of child slavery, right? Sex slavery. I mean,
child slavery, sex slavery, but he was talking the slavery of 150 years ago or more, when the blacks were brought over by blacks and whites and sold, and it was atrocious.
yeah.
But we ended it.
No, I agree.
We were the first country to outlaw that type of slavery.
By the Republicans, by the way.
I'm so tired of people trying to make it sound like we are the hotbed of it.
Well, yeah, that's why I told him I wanted to look into it, because I didn't hear about people trying to downplay it or anything like that. But yeah, should we stop talking about it to the point where all right, it's over with. We got rid of it. It's done. We corrected that atrocity. Yeah,
you want to talk
but
about
it should be.
fine.
It should be.
Like I said,
It should be taught. Yeah, but no,
where it's happening in all these countries across the world.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be talked about to the fact where,
it shouldn't be your number one issue.
It's anywhere in the recent past that has happened, and we corrected it, and it's fine now. But yeah, it should be part of history talked about. But I didn't hear anything being wiped out of the history books or anything like that.
I don't know. I'm tired of hearing about that.
Yeah, because we're divided enough. We don't need to hear that anymore. Everyone has equal opportunity for everything. So you're right. So I think we have another caller, Arlene.
Coming other country.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. So, all right, Arlene, thanks for calling in. We've got another caller waiting on the line.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
All right,
Bye, Eileen.
Hi, caller. You're live. You're on the air. What's your name? Where you from?
I'm Stan, and I'm from Newport in downtown too.
Okay, Stan, how you doing?
All right. Actually, I was listening to the gentleman who called in who said he was a Democrat. I felt like what he was doing was basically setting us up by race baiting us. You know, there's not a lot of people who are worried about, reducing any kind of knowledge of the slavery that took place in Pennsylvania. Slavery ended in Pennsylvania in the 1730s. It's 300 years ago almost since slavery was an issue in Pennsylvania, but nobody's trying to nominalize it, and I haven't heard anything across any state where that's an issue. And it just seems like it's being baited to try to get our listeners who are Republicans, who may in fact be of color, to start questioning whether or not we're doing that, which we're really not. I'm deeply involved in the Republican Party here in Cumberland County, and I can tell you absolutely that there is no one under any circumstances who's doing what that man is accusing us or even inferring.
Yeah, we didn't hear anything about it. I mean, we were flabbergasted.
Yeah, I just wasn't going to call him a liar. I just said I'll look into it. But
yeah, he was race baiting. That's exactly what he was doing. He was race baiting. That's what the Democrats do. They want to accuse us of being racist. That's their big throw all. And, that's what we're supposed to be, is racist. And we're not. Obviously we're a party that is the big tent. We're the people who actually wanted the Equal Opportunity Employment Act. We're the people who helped, with the Civil Rights Amendments. We're the people who actually brought about the end of slavery.
Yeah,
so
fought for
reality, they're barking up the wrong tree, but always accusing us while three fingers are still pointing back at them.
No, you're not wrong about that. Democrats, that's their go-to when, to try to win elections and to call out Republicans as Nazis and racists and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know if that gentleman was, no, I'm not saying he was calling anybody Nazis or anything. I just wanted to know what he was talking about, because I didn't hear anything about that. I mean, I'm still being taught in schools and history books, but that's it. It should be taught that, and guess what? It's over. It should be taught that the Republicans are the ones that abolished slavery. And that's basically it. And it was the Democrats that were, well, I mean, we're probably.
We know the governors of Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana in the 1960s were all Democrats, and that's where their sheriffs. So that should explain a lot as well. But which makes it where I cannot understand under any circumstances why anybody would ever support them. And it makes no sense to me. For all the things that they did and the ways they treated people, that should never fly.
Well, they're hoodwinked, my friend. LBG said, what's his name? LBJ said they'll, be voting for the next 200 years.
Well, that's why we're actually, I think we're going to try to start a Republican rag here in Cumberland County, and get it to where it's representing what really is what we stand for, and not. And get the message out there, which is something that we haven't had the ability to do for a long time. So, the Democrats have a lot of control over the media, and so, having any other mediums that we can use to get the information that needs to be out there widespread to the people, I think is a real positive thing, especially after this last election.
So, all right. Well, listen, thanks for calling in. Thanks for your opinion on this. I mean, I agree with you. I'm tired of the race baiting. And then the Democrats do that. Again, that listener, I'm not accusing them of anything, but yeah, I just don't know anything about it. And everyone has their opinion of what's going on. I'm going to look into it as soon as this show's over and I get home. I'm curious.
Let's see what they said last night on Channel 6.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are they doing? Taking it out of schools or something? And they're not going to teach in history? I don't understand how they can downplay slavery. Like, what's that mean?
I don't know.
Remember, 6 is ABC, so that should answer a lot.
Yeah. You're right about that. So,
all right. Have a good night.
All right, thank you. Have a good one. So, I forgot to say, too, when my wife called and I was talking to Justin Barbera on the way in, and he was saying, when I told him that Heather was probably going to call in, he said, well, ask her how much he bought today off Amazon. Sorry, Justin, I forgot about that. What you called it?
Oh, Justin.
Yeah. So but yeah, no, I just I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that. I didn't think I don't see anybody downplaying. If anything, everyone's upplaying it lately.
Yeah. I mean, look, they definitely try to ever since the BLM stuff, right? They've been trying to push the racism card again, and it's just it keeps us divided. You know what I mean? And it's a shame. It keeps us divided, and we don't have that hate and heart. You talk to most Republicans, they don't have none of that.
No, I know I don't. But it looks like we have another caller on the line. So, hey, caller, you're live. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, Damon, this is Jason Cullen, newly announced candidate for Congress in New Jersey District 3. How are you, brother?
Good, man. My man. What's up?
Jason, how you doing, pal?
I met Jason. Oh, God, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry?
No, I was just going to say, I met Jason off of Facebook. I saw some of his posts, talking about Jack Ciattarelli in a good way to elect him and everything. And I'm like, man, this guy's got it. Then I look him up, and I'm like, oh, he ran for Congress. So I reached out to him, and he was on my podcast, and here he's running for Congress in CD3.
There you go.
Ooh, absolutely, man. Listen, I appreciate you giving me a few minutes tonight.
Yeah, sure, man. And then thanks for calling in. I'll give you time that you want up until 5:55.
Absolutely.
So what's on your mind today, brother?
All right. Well, like I said, just announced last night. Hasn't even been 24 hours yet, but it's been just such an incredibly exciting time. Got an amazing response, which just made me feel amazing and even more motivated and excited. We did a video announcement, got thousands of views. Donations were already starting to come in. But what really, really got to me the most exciting for me was the outpouring of people who reached out to me to ask how they could get involved in the campaign. And what was amazing about that was not just if I had made a connection to them, I was concerned with what happened with the governor's race if people were going to be a little too beaten down. And I think this may have been a wake-up call to a lot of people that, you know what, we have to get up and we have to do the work. We can't rely on other people are going to get out there. I'm just going to go ahead. I'll just vote on Election Day. I think people are starting to realize they got to get out there. They got to do the work. They got to hit the doors. They got to make the phone calls. Because this is all of our race. This is all of our election every time. And I think we needed that butt kicking.
Yeah, sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. And then listen, I am definitely here for you because I want to team up with you because I am running for Congress in CD1 and 26 as well. As people know, I don't think I danced on the radio show yet, have I? Or you guys talked about it.
Yeah, I think we talked about it when we called you the Godfather.
Oh, the Godfather, that's right. Yeah. So hey, we work together, we get some stuff done, and let's rally the base up and hopefully get people out to vote. We were just talking about that earlier in the show. Not all the Republicans and come out again to vote.
And I love that you're already making headway right now, right? You still have a whole year to go. I mean, because we got in a little bit late, and we were trying to put together what we could, but our team really didn't start coming together till towards the end. You know what I mean? At that point in time, there's just not enough time in the day.
Correct. The timing's tough, and even looking at it now, you're looking at 8 months. It's going to go by so fast. And I wanted to make sure I gave myself the biggest on-ramp as possible because there's going to have to be a lot of organizing, getting people together. Obviously raising money is a big, big part of that, and you need to have that time built into it. So I wanted to get out as early as I could, 100%. And Damon, I got your back in full support in CD1 for you too, brother.
So I love it, brother. I love it a lot. So we'll be talking on the radio, have on the podcast and everything else, and maybe get some, get some fundraisers together. I got Justin's running and all that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of good candidates out there that are going to be running for different positions. But I think if we all work together, in South Jersey, then we can make it then.
That's it, man. You got to build a coalition.
What do you think I've been doing?
No.
That's why he's the Godfather.
That's it. See, he knows.
Absolutely. And that's the key right there. I think that's one of the big missing ingredients in the Republican Party. Unfortunately, right now, especially in the NJGOP, there's many factions within the party. They're not working together. Mm-hmm. So if we can get a bunch of like-minded, energetic candidates out there together as one team running with a consistent message, really having each other's back, I think we can really make some change. I think we can flip some seats.
Yeah, I think, and the thing is, and I'll just go back to a couple of weeks ago. I saw a show here in 921 where the former elected official and
two, right?
Well, no, well, yeah. Well, the former elected official was trashing another former elected official with the scumbag Steve Van Kush, who I have the Loser League Award trophy for. But then they had to call in, and they're going back and forth on the radio. Now, was it at the moment? Was it entertaining for a second? But I'm looking at it, I'm like, anybody that sees this, this is why we lose. It was despicable. It really was. I mean, I couldn't believe that they just started talking about the candidate and trashing somebody. And then I don't blame that candidate, the former candidate, not candidate, former elected official, for calling in and to defend. But I'm not naming names other than Steve Tankosh. I'll name him anywhere I go. But it was wrong. I mean, it makes us look bad, and people Republicans don't stick together. That's why we lose. So that's
100%. 100%. I mean, we can learn a lot from the Democrats, just how they structure themselves, how they come together. They always coalesce together. They're always in lockstep. They fight together, and they don't really throw each other overboard. And it's almost like we are trying to beat each other, not beat the Democrats.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I even went as far when I ran last time. I brought in my opponent. He wound up dropping out before the primary anyway. But I brought him in, and everyone thought I was crazy. Like, why are you going to bring your opponent and give him airtime? I said, because I want to show solidarity. And I was confident enough that I would explain to people why they should vote for me. And then he's going to tell people why they're going to vote for him. But it was almost kind of like a debate, but it was a friendly debate. And I just wanted to show solidarity. I'm pretty sure he was going to drop out anyway. But still, I mean, even if so, I mean, I just want to make a stance on that and try to get Republicans to come together and not infight to where we can get the right people on. Because what bothers me the most, too, is when a Republican wins a primary, whoever lost, they don't get behind the candidate that won. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. I mean, sorry, wipe it off, rub some dirt on it, and then get behind the candidate that won. If it's for the good of the party.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the whole point of a primary. The party picks their candidate. And it's not just that the candidate's not getting behind that person. So if you and I were against each other and, you beat me, you're going to need my supporters, right? So I shouldn't be out there trashing you, destroying you, making sure that my folks don't come out and vote for you in the general election. We have to come together. And hopefully there's going to be a new generation of candidates coming out of the mess from this year who understand that, and we're not each other's enemy.
No, you're right. I mean, what do you think, Pete?
Listen, man. It is very unfortunate that we did see some of that, right? And the way I keep looking at it is, if we want to make the real change, if we really want to do it, everybody's got to be on the same page. We ought to come together and form a coalition. The other side is when you have some candidates running in one county, and then, another piece of the county decides that they want to flow up another because they don't like one. I mean, it's just, come on, guys. What are we doing with the infighting? Just, if the candidates are there, we're ready. Can we please just get behind them and try to get people elected? Because now you look and we needed to gain, 13 seats? We lost 6.
Yeah.
We're further away from the goalpost.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a third and long, and we fumbled. Like, what are we doing?
So...
I guess. I mean, beyond the fumble, we just handed them the ball and said, "Go ahead, walk him to the touchdown."
That's it. We just marked Sanchez the butt fumble over here. I don't know what's going on.
That's funny you brought that up. I used to make fun of my wife with that. She loved Mark Sanchez because he's a Jets fan, and I always bring up the butt fumble.
Yeah, what are we doing? Well, we also have too many people watching our bread and circuses. Now that they're too expensive to watch, and you have to watch on this one or watch on that one, or you can only watch this game over here, maybe we'll see more people pay attention to politics and we can start getting some stuff done over here. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
you got to always look for the silver lining.
Well, maybe we got to make it fun too. The Red Atlantic Fest.
Yeah,
on the back. The ideas coming.
Bro, I was ready for the Freedom Festival over the 4th of July. I tried pitching that idea. I mean, I thought that would have been great.
All right, well, we'll get something together. That Red Atlantic Fest, we're going to piece together.
Get people excited. Get people happy. Show them something good. not just the infighting.
Yeah.
I think that's key right there. That's what's going to get people motivated, is having them have this positive experience where not just they can be a part of the process, but getting them to understand that they do actually have influence, they do have an effect. Because the biggest thing I always hear when I talk to people, my vote doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Just
what
that,
we
Damon.
won't. The problem is, okay, maybe your one vote doesn't, but there's millions of you saying that. If you all got together, you all coalesce, you are a voting bloc, you can swing elections, you can change the country.
Jason, I said that 20 minutes ago, bro. That's it. My vote doesn't matter. Well, if 60% say that, well, guess what? Now we're really screwed.
Absolutely. And we've seen this, and we've seen that time and time again.
Yeah.
So, all right, brother. Well, listen, thanks for calling in. I'm sure this is not going to be the last time. So we're going to have to wrap up the show here. But
absolutely. Listen, thank you guys for love again. Thanks for letting me on for a minute. Absolutely, brother. You guys have a great night.
Hey, where can people find you real quick? Did you say your website?
So you can, all my handles on social media are Cullen for Congress. That's CULLEN with the number 4. And the website cullenforcongress.com with the number 4.
All right, brother.
Sounds good, my friend. Thanks for calling in.
Have a good night.
Absolutely. You guys have a great night. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Well, there you go, Jason Cohen for CD3.
There you go, man. Look, once again, trying to build the coalition. Let's see if we can make round number. I don't know what round we're on, but let's see if we make it go this time.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. Trying to bring people together. That's the main thing.
I know.
That's the most important thing to me is this.
Look, the fact is everybody that's doing the fighting, I believe that in their heart, they want the best thing for everybody. You know what I mean? Right? That they want the best thing for the people. I think that that's probably a fair assessment. They just, when everybody thinks that they're going to be the best thing, then we get hosed.
Yeah, but then when you turn around and you backstab the opponent that won and tell your base not to vote for him, then that shows your true colors that you weren't doing it to serve the people and represent your constituents. You were doing it for yourself. Because if you wanted the best for the people, that's why you run and to be a public servant, and you wanted the best for the community or whoever you represent, whatever position it may be. But if you turn around and you trash your opponent that won and tell your people not to vote for him,
or you're not helping anybody.
Yeah, then it just shows that you're doing it for selfish reasons.
Yeah.
But all right, everybody, listen. Thanks for having me back. We'll be back, next Thursday, 5:00, same time, same bat channel. And we have the America's Pulse Network, and I have the Jersey Shore SURE podcast as well on Mondays and Fridays. I usually air the show on the podcast, and you can catch that on any social media platform if you just go under America's Pulse Network or just look up Jersey Shore SURE. And then we have the Pulse on Wednesdays at 8:00, and that's. The Pulse is where we have 3 or 4 podcasters that are on the network come together. We have a guest or two, so that one's pretty fun. We did that last night, so you guys can check that out. All right, Pete, anything you got?
No, man. I'm just sitting pretty glad to be back here with you, buddy. I mean, I'm okay with sitting in this seat over here, letting you run the show. I'll take the step back for a minute. I like this position anyway,
You guys did great, man. I'm a little rusty, but you guys did great. You guys were awesome.
That's all right. I just tried to do the best I could. That's all I can do.
So, all right, everybody, signing off. Have a good night.
All righty. Bye-bye.
America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
The APN's The Pulse Podcast is hosted by Alexandra Levine from the Alexandra Levine Life Podcast. And Damon Galdo from the Jersey Shore Podcast. And Seth Eisenberg from the Conservative Corner Podcast. Also, there will be 2 additional guests on every episode. The Pulse is live every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this, and we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody, and God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias. America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.